a delicate dark girl. Remember how the other week I came back here talking about responsibility and the fact that things seem like forever? Thank you to those who have waited and to those who are excited to see another episode of Delicate Dark Girl. Can I call these episodes? Today we are going to do a look that's in my head. It's inspired by Little Kim, once again, from the 90s in her Crush on You video, where she's wearing the blue wig. Now, when I was little, let's start first. I think I'm going to skip eyebrows, but never moisture. Back to what I was saying. When I was little, I was really, really into that music video because of the color scheme. I went to school singing it and everything. I think I was in like the 4th grade though. Well, that's kind of appropriate, but I'm gonna use this mirror. Anyway, so there's like a big debate about Thanksgiving. First of all, if you celebrate Thanksgiving in another country, it's probably because, you know, I don't know why, but if you're in North America and you're celebrating Thanksgiving, it's already, to me, something that has to defer its meaning, or actually has to change its meaning, I guess, change it, but its inception, the holiday itself, the inception of the holiday is insidious, so a lot of people do not celebrate it in modern day, or at least celebrate it in the way that it was taught when I was younger, because, you know, you learn things, or you realize things, I should say. You already learned them, but then you realize what it really meant. And so, because of, I would say, the internet, and the fact that the indigenous population, their voice can't be silenced as easily, it's still a very big effort, I think, on the part of America as a whole to silence indigenous voices in certain ways and in a general way. So with the internet, a lot of different marginalized groups have been able to really put things out there, and it's been able to grab the conscience of the general public. So even though I'm not gonna say it's like, and it's all better now, like, I'm not saying that. It's more just like people have been forced to face a lot of things that were easily ignored because of lack of access, or lack of direct access to personal narrative and personal information, without like actually being 1 degree separated from somebody. Now it can be a complete stranger in over hundreds of miles away, and you can hear their personal story, you can hear their community narrative. And so because of that, Thanksgiving is really something that has become rightfully taboo to openly celebrate as it was. So I think for Black people anyway, what we do, we are someone who's always celebrated holidays on the fringe of what it actually meant. I have noticed they have their own meaning to it, they have their own dates. So Thanksgiving, for example, in my house, since we're African, it was more a very adopted tradition because we were in the country. It's not really a tradition that means more than my mother really liked the aspect of once a year all the family coming together and eating this like big dinner. Like, we used to have almost everybody come to our house. I think my mother had a lot of personal fantasies about having her own house, like personal house romances, because one of the things I remember is her, and I'm gonna do makeup. One of the things I remember is her when we first got here, she would wash laundry because we got a washing machine when we got here too, so we didn't have to go no laundromat no more. That was a big change. Of course, we didn't get it right as we got here, but eventually we got a washing machine, and because now we had somewhere to put it, you know, it's a house, not an apartment. She would, instead of using the dryer, she would hang the clothes outside on this little wire rack we have. It's now blown away and it's on top of a shed and stuff, but she put that on the little wire rack, and she would dry all the sheets and stuff on the little banister. And I think that was partially to save energy, but more so because she could now, and it was more what I think what she grew up knowing. She had grown up with space, and this country doesn't really afford you the same kind of space that you have back there, like at a family compound per se. I'm using a brush for this sparkle because I kind of want it to be a base sparkle. What am I doing and where is it going? I'm not sure yet. This might be a disaster. Yeah. Anyway, so part of her fantasies included being able to do things she hasn't been able to do in a very long time. She had a lot of things she wanted to do, and I think it included having people over. Like when we were little, our apartment, I'm telling you, our little apartment used to be jam-packed with people. This is a different shimmer I'm putting in the middle. I'm using this one. That was the one I just used with a brush. This is the one that I'm putting in the middle. So our apartment used to be jam-packed full of people for them throwing parties. They're very social. And so that was the apartment, I should say. But am I the only person that does it? Like, even if it's an apartment, you call it your house, because that's where you live. And then, whatever. I'm talking about, like, people were everywhere in the hallway. They were in the bathroom. They jumping. And then my parents realized that a lot of people just came to party. It wasn't really their friends. So when we moved to this actual house, like a house, they cut off a lot of people, and so the parties were non-existent. But I feel like my mother was still a very social person, so holidays became the time where the party was acceptable. You know, like, to her, she felt, I'm not going to just throw these random parties anymore for people that don't even care about us. I'm going to have parties for a family. And I think that's why Thanksgiving got adopted so hard. Because she wanted that family aspect of Thanksgiving, the part where it's about having the people you care about in your home and with you. Oh, my wipes are way over there. She wanted that. So that's why we adopted Thanksgiving. So, or at least that's my personal theory. Anyway, I feel like a lot of people adopt it for that reason and not its original insidious reason, but and that's fine, but I feel like that doesn't warrant forgetting what this holiday was instituted to stand for. I think that should be a part of the holiday. Like when someone's asking where it is, you talk about that first. And then let people make their own decisions. And I think it's just because of that double consciousness where it's like, you can celebrate it in your house if you want to, but so I don't know what my eyes are doing. We actually this is what you call bullshitting for real. I don't like it at all. Can we save it? Yes, we can. Now, what's all this about? I was gonna say, you know, this year everyone's freaking out about celebrating Thanksgiving, and I'm like, oh, shut up. You'll be fine. Just because it's not an end-all, break-all. But anyway, with the corona, We're definitely not having people over. This is not gonna happen. Like, everyone in this house is serious, for real. My younger sister and my older sister, they're kind of, even though they're introverted, they're still very social people, as in they take their friendships and relationships very seriously with others. So they have very active social lives, because I think their friends are really extroverted, not necessarily my sisters, but they don't even like go anywhere anymore. Like, that's how serious we're taking the corona in this house. So when we see other people, you know, all the nurses and stuff that are put in danger because people in everyday life want to prance around like this isn't real. Like, they're like, I have to live, we're all gonna die someday. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to take anybody else with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we're all gonna die someday and we have to live our lives, but the responsible thing is to do what we naturally do as humans and die alone. You don't have to take anybody else with you, like, because you want to be reckless and you want to be out here and you want to go and hop around and live your life as if this isn't an airborne contagion, like, and then you go to the hospital and the nurse has to handle you, and then you call for her ass is dead. She had kids, she did everything right, but then she had to come do her job where she's in prolonged exposure with your ass. You get to go home at the end if she's made you better, and then she dies. What is this? Like, I can't. And then, like, people are on the little stupid internet talking about how we're not responsible. Since when are we responsible for other people's health? And then these same people have health and wellness businesses. Does that make sense? Like, people in this pandemic who are doing, like, people who own gyms, people who sell like fruit juice, people who sell, you know, yoga and all kinds of things. Those are the people I have been seeing. Not all of them, not all of them, but those are a number of the people I have been seeing that are pretending that their healthy lifestyle is what's going to save them from corona, and their business relies on them being the person that knows everything. So they tell you that nothing's wrong. All you need to do is drink more vitamin C and you'll be fine. I feel like people who tell you that you shouldn't be worried about someone else's public, like the public health in general, like not wearing a mask, not loitering outside where you can be spreading your airborne contagions. Like, people who aren't concerned about public health don't get to run a business that affects public's health. Let me do this eyeliner. I don't know if I should do this eyeliner thick or what. But like I said, having a Thanksgiving alone or just with your immediate family, you will be alright. Some of you. Not everybody, and that's concerning because of the state of their family affairs. But the fact that they've been trapped in this house with people that's on the more serious end is really, I don't know. Those are the times where you just wish you had every resource to change it. And that was part of what this channel did, or the channel goal is, when it's able to make some money. The whole point is to be a giving place, you know, like the money that's made here is supposed to be, that's the goal, but there's no money made here. But that's the motivation of why I keep coming back, because I keep thinking of the good things I want to do. I don't want to call them charity. I feel like it's like human responsibility. But I guess that's whatever. That's what this channel is supposed to be growing towards, and it can't grow if I don't keep pushing. And sometimes you lose sight of what you're doing because of all the trouble you're having in your life. But the one thing I can do is this. So even if I have a hard time coming back. I still want to remember to come back. I threw mascara over here. Now I don't know where it is. What? I don't think I'm going to do foundation either. Nah, I'm going to do it. Nah, it turned out alright. As usual. Just going to put on this mascara for like 5 hours, so I won't make you sit through that. There's no mascara in here. The newest mascara I bought was this Wet n Wild one. But that's not the kind of lash I'm going for today. I needed that Total Temptation lash, but we'll go for the Wet n Wild just because there's actually mascara in here. I gotta buy one so I can start putting castor oil on my lashes. They were doing really well for a while, but I think they could use some help again. Anyway, that's the mascara. Boop. So now we will put on, I was gonna use my Stila, but I've already got enough glitter on my face, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use this little compact that I made. Mainly to get up under here. Inside this compact is Estee Lauder Double Wear. I'm also, I don't know if you would call it running out of foundation or running through foundation. Okay. Either way, I do want to try some new foundations, as some of my foundations are cycling themselves out, you know, because I don't have any more of it or whatever. And once again, we're not going to do our forehead. Why? I don't know. I'm not even sure that's a good look, but I'm doing it. I have some products on the way, actually, from Julie's place, like powder, and I feel like what I'm going to be doing is using that powder on my forehead as like a blurring effect when I don't want to like put foundation up there. Lip time. Usually if I don't put foundation on my forehead, I try not to put it on my nose. So I've got this idea. It's not the biggest idea in the world, it's just an idea. Oh no, I'm running out of this too? Oh. Oh, I like that on its own, but it's not finished. And then I'm going to top it with Ilia Beauty Europa. A very, very slight amount. I should just use a gloss, really. Too late. This isn't really blue like the Lil Kim look, but see that? Isn't that nice? I'll show you that in a different light in a minute, but I thought about this and it turned out even better than I thought it would. Ooh. Oh, that color. That turned out really nice. Hold on, gotta make it even over here. It's weird for some reason. That turned out really nice, and the texture of my lip is amazing. Look, see? That matte lip cream and Ilia, they work really well together. The texture of my lip has never been that smooth, but that's that matte lip cream, and then you put a little sheen on it with the Ilia. Holiday easy eye. Mm-hmm. Now, I kind of want to add blush to this, but my blush is way over there, so it's not going to happen. So, thanks for watching. See you soon. I mean it. I really mean it. I'm not going to be one of those people you can't trust. I have to think about my own reputation. Seriously. So, see you soon, unless, like, we've been having some troubles in our lives. I told you this last time. Sometimes I won't be here, and it's mostly because of technical issues. That's exactly what happened. Long story short, my hard drive fell off a table. Okay. So, see you soon. Bye. Done.